Hola! 1 second. Boosh. Hola! Like a magician. Buenos dias, tout le monde. No, tout le monde is French. Todo el mundo. Buenos dias, todo el mundo. Good morning, everyone. We are hitting it off today with more Spanish. I'm gonna hop into my Discord in case anyone wants to join me. You know, be part of the stream. Feel free. Okay, so last time we did greetings, saludos, goodbyes, despedidas, and the how are yous, como estas. Today we're gonna be going with expresiones de cortesía. Expresiones de cortesía. Let me turn on my camera here. Boosh. Right. So I'm actually using even less space than normal. I've officially officially joined up with Extra Life. Solo, individual. I'm not participating as part of a group. Main reason being I feel like I wouldn't properly be able to do anything group-wise. I don't know if that is like a requirement or anything, but yeah. That's my thought anyways. With that being said, let's begin. Okay. Is it double S? No. That's English. English loves their double S. Hopefully my music doesn't do that either. Should be pretty quiet, I feel. So what does expresiones de cortesía mean? And by the way, cortesía, cia, the E has an accent. So it's accented I. These are courtesy expressions. So something we say on the norm pretty often, actually. Here, con permiso, con permiso, con permiso, con permiso. So what would this mean? Let me read this out a little better. Now it looks like it's one word. It's 2 words. Con permiso. Con permiso. Pardon me. Or excuse me. If I were to guess, like, if you were to like think of it like in English, like for someone who doesn't know Spanish, con permiso. I know con is with, and then permiso looks like permission. Permiso as a singular word means, oh, just excuse me, or like, yeah, permission, as if it's a noun, with permission, or excuse me, pardon me. You bump into someone. Con permiso, excuse me, sorry. Wasn't there also perdón? Perdónme. Perdóname. Excuse me. Perdóname. Perdóname. So another way of saying excuse me, by the way, is a single phrase. Perdóname. Excuse me. Perdóname. So it's like a dual phrase here, so yeah. Both these is for this, but this can also mean excuse me. Something we learned, or I covered over quickly in the "Cómo estás" last time. Was when we covered over nada. I said de nada is you're welcome, and this is where we see that. De nada. You're welcome. You are welcome. De nada. Gracias. De nada. Gracias. De nada. When someone says gracias, you say de nada as a reply. Okay. So next up we have lo siento. Lo siento. Lo siento. I'm sorry. Going back up to perdóname. Perdóname. Lo siento, perdóname. I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm sorry. Perdóname, lo siento. Perdóname, lo siento. Excuse me, sorry. And then one that we all know, I believe. Muchas gracias. Gracias. Thank you. Muchas gracias. Very much. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias, mis amigo. Mi amigo. Mi amigo. Muchas gracias. My friend. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So there's actually another thing you can say aside from de nada when someone thanks you. That also means you're welcome is no hay de qué. No hay de qué. Sounds weird, a little bit weird, but no I, so it's Hay. De qué. No hay de qué. This also means you're welcome. I kind of just stick with de nada, if I'm perfectly honest. This is just what I'm more familiar with. But this definitely exists and is also used. No hay de qué. No hay de qué. You're welcome. Okay. So we actually learn about up here, what I've used, this section, perdón. Perdón. It's also here. Perdón. Excuse me. Pardon me. So pretty much the same thing, yeah? Yeah. So con permiso, perdón, perdón con permiso, they both just kind of mean the same thing. It's not like a French R. Dave? Sorry. Erke? Erwake? I can't pronounce that combination of letters. A French R. Quatre. Is that quad? Quar. R. Trying to think of a French word. Not ugh. I've been studying French in a long time. Let's see. I have a tough time trying to remember my R's. Perdon, nota, pegdon. Let's see. If I'm trying to figure this out correctly, you're saying it's just a harder R, right? Like perdon, and not perdon. Like what? Like less. I guess phlegm, less glottal. It's more. Sorry. It's like more yeah, just a harder R, really. I gotcha. So we can reread this as perdon, perdon. You can tell, like with me in my vocal my vocal library doesn't really my oral library I should say doesn't really have that kind of R in me. A tongue R, not a throat R. Yeah. Perdon. Woo, that's hard. Perdon. Perdon. Or gracias. Perdon. It's going to. Yeah, this is why I need to practice, and this is why I love doing what I do. Perdon. Perdon. Thanks a lot, Dave. Thanks a lot, buddy. And thank you for dropping by. Let's see. Anywhere else I used R. Permiso. Expresiones de cortesia. Yeah, okay. Lovely. It's definitely the R's. There's the French, as you said, R, which is more phlegm or glottalish. Pronounced further back in the oral cavity. There's also the Spanish R, which is, as you said, it is more around the tongue area. There's actually also the English R sound, which or sound I should be saying. That actually sometimes becomes a schwa, which is kind of funny. And then there's also the Japanese R sound. It's not an R. It's a mix between the L and the R. It's a bit of a trilled R, a little bit. It's a bit of a weird one. So my oral acrobatics is a little lacking, just a little bit. Okay, and then the last word here in this set of vocabs I have is por favor. Por favor. Please. Por favor. Please. Yeah. Okay. I remember in high school, especially, my teacher definitely had us do a lot of oral exercises, and por favor was something that was said a lot, like a lot, and kind of makes sense, right? Especially in group projects. Hey, could you please do this? Or something like that. I don't remember words, and that's why I'm doing this right now. I don't remember words, but por favor, please, perdón, excuse me, pardon me. No hay de qué, no hay de qué. You're welcome. Muchas gracias. Thank you very much. Lo siento. I'm sorry. De nada. You're welcome. Con permiso. You can kind of ignore this over here, by the way. I just kind of added it in because I strictly remember perdón being something, so I looked it up and that's the version I found. A conjugated version. Perdóneme. But yeah. Well, these were the expresiones de cortesias. Which I actually didn't search up the definition. I just kind of assumed it means courtesy expressions. Expresiones de cortesia. And that's exactly what that means. Okay, cool. Very cool. So, whoosh, let's move on to the next set of words. Next set of vocabs here. Titles. Yes, these are relatively important, especially when you want to be formal with people. Títulos. There's an accent on the I, so títulos. Emphasis on the I. Títulos. Titles. We'll start off with señor. Gosh. The nasalization here. Señor. Abbreviated to SR dot. Or you can also say don. This is for Mr. Sir. Take little break when you say títulos. Ah. Títulos. Yeah. I see. Títulos. I see. That makes a lot of sense. That just kind of flows. Títulos. It flows really well when you say it like that. Títulos. Yeah, the flow is really there when you pause ever so slightly after the I. Títulos. Titles. Makes sense. We're back to the lead breaking. Oh boy. Okay. Señora. S-R-A. Or Doña. For Mrs. or Ma'am. And then for little lady is what I like to call it, but others would know it better as Miss. Usually it's a title associated with little ladies. Signorita. Signorita. So this abbreviation is SRTA. Miss. Signorita. Okay. Seems... I hope this seems straightforward. It is to me. Signor. And do forgive me for my lack of with the nasalized ends. I'm not good at that at all. Like, signor, I can do that about there, but any more, it's really difficult for me. Signor or don, signora or doña, doña, doña. Sounds so wrong. Doña, doña. Something like that, I hope. For Mrs. and ma'am. Signorita for Miss. Use Sonia, not like a T. Sonia. Right, because the where are you gonna use the language for culture? Asena? Really, it's just something I want to know, right? It's a pursuit of knowledge I feel like I just want to have. Obviously, because I don't know what I'm doing, it's very elementary knowledge, and because it's all textbook based, it's gonna be rough. But I feel if I pursue it far enough, I'll just have the knowledge of another language in me, and that's really good. And being multilingual is great as well. Being able to think in another language is wonderful. Right now, when I think, it's predominantly English. I sometimes think in a couple other languages, since I'm fluent in a couple other, or in another, orally speaking. And I do think a lot in Japanese, surprisingly, even though I'm not fluent whatsoever in Japanese. Kind of weird, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, I think in 2 languages predominantly, not just English, and fairly often in a 3rd. So I would like to have more languages in my arsenal. Yeah, I see. So is this supposed to be a lisp, Dave? With the Spanish D, is this supposed to be lispy? With the doña, doña, doña. Because I know the D the DT and THs in particular, you could be lispy with the TH sound, or much more harder pronunciation with it, with the what you'd expect out of it from like English speakers, the D, the T, and whatnot. Hey, Zenon! Whoa, VH5. Thank you for the follow on Twitch. Man, we're really getting there on Twitch, eh? We're now at 111? That's a lot. Our YouTube isn't too far behind at 96, so... once we hit 100 subscribers on YouTube, that's when we get back to play another round of getting over it, I suppose. More celebration. Sanji is exactly like a little softer TH. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So, Don. So instead of don, which is like a very d, vocalize, like, I don't want to get into linguistics here in particular. That's my major, by the way. So I'm thinking of the IPA chart right now. It's a plosive alveolar sound, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. My IPA chart's a little rusty. So instead of a voiced plosive, it's a they changed the way you pronounce that slightly. Don, donya, Donya. I am 112th Twitch follower. Also, the 5 is how many accounts I've made in websites. I kind of figured as much, I suppose. With your number scheme. I greatly enjoy it. Makes things very simple. I do enjoy that your profile icon is a burger. I'll say that much. I do enjoy that. Let's see. But when you say and try to put your tongue in the left part of your incision. When you say try to put your tongue in the left part of your superior incision teeth. Don. Okay. So instead of being lispy, which is bilabial, you go more dental with it with the teeth. Donya. Okay. Makes sense. For anyone that doesn't understand what I just said, by the way, bilabial just means your lips. So if you put your tongue on your lips, you can say, that's how you make the TH sound. That sound. Or voiced version, like that. That's bilabial. With dental, hopefully people know what dental is, your teeth. That's kind of what Dave is explaining to me, and that's how I process it, the dental part of your mouth. So, instead of like the d, which might sound like it comes from your teeth, kind of, if you like have the air, feel the air coming out of your mouth, it's actually more towards the back and roof of your mouth for the English D's and T's. So if you try to put your tongue at the back of your teeth, you'll get something along the lines of d ton donya. It's a bit more cluttered in a way. It's more of a mouthful for sure, but that's kind of what the kind of sound you're making with it. With your tongue, the tip of your tongue touching the back of your teeth. Donut. Donut. Yeah. It's definitely specifically where your tongue is, specifically the tip of your tongue actually, and in relation to the rest of your mouth. And you'll kind of figure out where it is and how we classify it as linguists. And it's very interesting when you try to forcefully pronounce certain letters with a different tongue position than normal. You'll get very interesting sounds out of it. Like, say the G sound, like the g. That's further back in your mouth, right? And when you say it, imagine where your tongue is. G. It's flat on the bottom of your mouth. But say, for example, what happens if I put my tongue behind the top of my top row teeth? G. It sounds like I have food in my mouth, right? That's just how it is. The sound is going through your mouth, and you're producing it in the back of your mouth still, but the sound gets blocked by your tongue and has to go around it in order to produce the sound. So you make a very interesting noise instead. But people can still tell it's a G, usually, but yeah. All right. So let's these were the titles. Our next list here is actually pretty long. Presentaciones. 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 Now, I do not know exactly what this means in English. I don't even have a guess. At least one that makes sense. Presentations. Okay, it's exactly what I thought it was, but I didn't believe it. Presentations. Easy enough. You know, I just realized, even when I had the extra life thing on my stream, but I don't think anyone has a link towards it, so let's fix that, actually. That was a bit careless and thoughtless of me. How do I do this? I got scared of Twitch. I came back to YouTube where it's safe. Oh, Xenon. Well, welcome back to the YouTube side of things. Anyways, I don't know how to do this. Alright, let's get back to extra life. Okay, so I'm here. How would people donate to me? I guess you're supposed to... I see. Here's the page link. So, I'll add to my YouTube description. Yeah. Donate to extra life here. Okay. Apologies about that. I completely blanked on the fact that I need to add that link. Otherwise, no one knows where to go. Okay. Right, so let's work on this first before I do anything else. Yeah, I continue with this. ¿Cómo se llama usted? So again, we're once again using usted, so we know it's formal. ¿Cómo se llama usted? This is very formal. You say it to someone, again, who requires it. Someone older, a higher social position standing than you. This is where you use usted. So in English, this is, what's your name? Formal. What's your name? Formal. So the formal bit is tied to the use of usted, and your is usted. This is a formal way of saying you. ¿Cómo se llama? What's your name? ¿Cómo se llama usted? And then, obviously, the more casual way of saying it, or not so formal way of saying it, is ¿Cómo se llama? quite literally, you just drop the 2. Or I mean, drop the usted at como te llama. I'm sorry. Gotta get the right conjugations here. Como te llamas? What's your name? This is the tu conjugation. Como te llamas? So the as is the ending for tu in general, and then te instead of se. For tu. So this is also what's your name. And this one is familiar, but that kind of just means como te llamas? Como te llamas? Como te llamas? Soy Tsubasa. Soy Will Smith. Soy Zeno. Soy. So that's kind of how you do it. And Dave can correct me if I'm off on that. But yes, that's how that works. Soy Einstein. How about that? So the way you say it formally, or a different way of saying it, is me llamo. So me is for I, or in this case, my. Me llamo. So llamo is the conjugate. You conjugate with the o for yo. So me llamo. Dot. Me llamo Tsubasa, as an example. And it's just my name is ... Exactly. Exactly, Dave. Me llamo. I did soy for I am, which is the English equivalent, by the way. Soy, I am. As the verb, as soy is the conjugated form of the verb ser, which is to be. So soy is, and it's an irregular verb, which is why it's conjugated to soy. Here we see me llamo, me for my, llamo, instead of llamas, instead of llama. So instead of this or that, it's llamo for, because it's the conjugated form of yo. Me llamo Tsubasa, my name is Tsubasa. Me llamo Will Smith, my name is Will Smith. Me llamo Bill Gates, my name is Bill Gates. Me llamo Bob, my name is Bob. Me llamo Alexander the Fifth, my name is Alexander the Fifth. I don't know, you can put whatever you want there, whatever your name is. Alright, let's go back to some more questioning here. We have usted. And for this is the Spanish for and. So this means and you. Obviously. Formal. Usted. Very simple. Y usted. The less formal, more familiar way of saying this. Y tú. Y tú. This is also and you. Familiar. In a familiar tone, a familiar sense. That's what this is for. Okay. Let's move on to the next page because I ran out of space here. Alright. So next here is mucho gusto. Mucho gusto. Mucho gusto. I have it written here as pleased to meet you. Pleased to meet you. Pleased to meet you. Mucho gusto. I feel like that's not exactly right though. Okay, so it's more of a phrase if you add in conocerte. Conocerte. So if everyone remembers conocer, it is to know. So conocer, to know, and it's to know someone. Remember, se, is it se? Yes. Because there's conocer, saber. Yeah. So there's conocer, there's saber, for know, but saber is to know, like have the knowledge of something, whereas conocer is to like know someone. So conocerte, mucho gusto conocerte. Pleased to meet you. Remember the te? Right there. The te is for tu, for you. So conocerte, mucho gusto conocerte. But mucho gusto, it's a pleasure to meet you. It's a pleasure. It's my pleasure. Mucho gusto. And then as a reply, usually pretty casually, is el gusto es mío. El gusto. So, el gusto, the pleasure, es mío, is mine. This one's a pretty direct translation, as far as I'm aware. It is the pleasure, so el gusto, the pleasure, es mío, is mine. Okay. Alright, we're cutting it short on time here. Once we're done the presentaciones, we'll end it there for today. There's a lot to go through still though. Encantado, encantada. Encantado, or this means delighted, and also as a reply, pleased to meet you as well. So, like, delighted to meet you. Delighted. Or, pleased to meet you. It's a bit more like a specific scenario, by the way, at least in my opinion, because I don't think if you just say encantado or encantada to a person, they'll know it's a nice to meet you saying without proper context. So like, mucho gusto conocerte, you're literally saying pleased to meet you. Much pleasure in knowing you. Encantado de conocerte. Right. Okay. So Dave has given me the knowledge So we can add encantado, encantada, conocerte. So we can also do what we did there. And then add the arrow. Conocerte. Like that. Encantado, encantada de conocerte. So we do need a little bit extra here in order to say pleased to meet you. That's the extra context. Wonderful, wonderful. Otherwise, encantado, encantada, delighted, delighted. You use it by itself for delighted. Ah, yes, probably my favorite word to use in class. Igualmente. Igualmente. Likewise. Gosh, doing any oral exercises in class. It's nice. It's nice to meet you. Likewise. Mucho gusto. Mucho gusto. Igualmente. I use that phrase way too often. Okay. Not much to say about igualmente. Simply means likewise. Very nice way to reply. Next up we have este, esta, es. ... So this is the start of a sentence. You can say este or esta, es, to say this is. And which one you choose is entirely dependent on what you're saying is, what object you're saying, or what you're referring to. Whatever this is, you'll choose between este and esta. Le presento a. Interesting. Okay, I didn't know about this one. Le presento a. So this, according to my textbook, is I would like to introduce you to. I would like to introduce you to, and then you'd have the name, and this is formal. Me gustaría presentarte a. So according to my textbook, because there's le presento a, there's also te presento a. So this is exactly the same as this, except it is familiar. Interesting. So the big difference here is le versus te. So this is a big difference here between formal and familiar. And then we have your sentence there. Me gustaría. I don't want to roll that R. Me gustaría presentarte a. So me gustaría presentaria. So there's the accent. So ria. Present. Darte a. I would like to introduce you to, or I would like to present to you, or present you to, yeah. Oh yeah, I have no space for the last one here. El nombre. El nombre. El nombre. Name. Oh, it's completely off screen. Okay, el nombre. Name. This is name. El nombre. Okay, this is presentations. El nombre, name. Te presento a, or le presento a, for familiar versus formal, for I would like to introduce you to. And then we have Dave's example. Me gustaría presentarte a. Going up, we have este, esta, es, this is. Igualmente, likewise. Encantado, encantada. De conocerte, delighted, pleased to meet you. El gusto es mío, the pleasure is mine. Mucho gusto, pleased to meet you, again. Mucho gusto conocerte. Let's keep going backwards. Y tú, and you, the familiar version. Y usted, and you, the more formal version. Me llamo, my name is. ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? What's your name? Familiar version. ¿Cómo se llama usted? What's your name? Formal version. And that was the presentations. And that is it for today's Spanish short tutorial type stream, I suppose. Actually, I should call this. That is all the time, because in a couple minutes from now, it is time for our Japanese lesson. So this is the future of this stream, of my stream, by the way. For most of it, anyways. It's gonna be it's definitely gonna be me just doing a lot of study work. So it might not be this. Like, this is very simple, basic, and usually self-study type material. I'm very happy I have Dave with me here. So mucho gracias, Dave. Because you helped me with both pronunciations, other examples, corrections. I greatly appreciate it. I think it's muchas gracias, if I'm not mistaken from my notes here. De nada. Fue un gusto. Okay, and now we're going to be switching gears and we're going to be learning some Japanese. Today is another lesson. And that's another stream, by the way, so... Yes, I Google translated that, so... Very happy. Again, I can't thank everyone enough. Like, not just you, Dave, but like everyone else. There's always someone who's willing to be here in stream with me, no matter which language I'm learning. To either learn with me or help me learn. I can't thank all of you enough. It's always, it's definitely a wonderful feeling, and I can't express my thanks enough. But yeah, so I'll see everyone in a moment if you're joining me for Spanish or just for Japanese. If not, have a wonderful day. Absolutely wonderful day. So I'll see everyone in a moment if you're going to be joining me for Japanese. Yeah. See you in the next stream, which is happening like now.